Too sweet!
Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. You can find our personal Twitters at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. Took a summer break, Dwight.
What's up?
Did you have a good little hiatus?
I had a fantastic hiatus.
Were you away from sports for that hiatus?
You know it. What am I supposed to do?
I was not. I was on top of everything. I had a lot of soccer going on with all the cups going on.
It's summer, dude. Have a life.
Golf was going in, and then baseball has been a lot of fun. We're definitely going to get into a little baseball because I've had a lot to say about that. But
it's summer. Have a life.
Well, you know what? Even more, you like talking about sports than in summer. You know what you like talking about more? Football in August. You love talking football. Early August. I'm not even going to say middle of August yet. We're still technically early August, okay?
Really? We're really doing this?
Big news, Tyrod Taylor.
Is this
Tyrod Taylor?
Is this September?
I know you have an opinion on it.
Where did that money come from?
A lot of it's not guaranteed. It's kind of like the Andy Dalton deal. Andy Dalton only got 19% guaranteed. Most quarterbacks are an average of over 56% guaranteed in their contracts. So if you look at it from that perspective, are they really putting faith in him? Because, Sam Bradford even got 50+% guaranteed. Tyrod Taylor is getting 17, 18, 19%. Andy Dalton only got that much. Andy Dalton ends up excelling, and it looks good it ends up working out really well for the Bengals. A lot of incentives, though. That's a tough division, so it's not a bad idea on their part to throw a lot of money out there, but at the same time, only really guarantee them a little bit and say, hey, go prove the rest.
Dude, that's a lot of money for somebody that hasn't proven a whole lot. He had a good year. Congratulations. That's all fine and dandy, but
at the most
really, you just going to throw the money out there?
It's at the most important position, though, right? And you need something consistent. While, yes, I agree with you, Tyrod Taylor is not an elite quarterback. He's not a top quarterback. He's not even in the Joe Flacco.
You don't even know what he is right now. It's too early.
I agree with what you're saying. But at the same time,
he might be right now today.
He was consistent there all of last year, right? And he ran the system. Remember Mark Sanchez with the Jets when Mark Sanchez was doing what Rex Ryan wanted him to do and not just out there throwing the balls, throwing for 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. When he was throwing 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Mm-hmm. Okay, well if you can get that from Tyrod Taylor plus a little bit of flash because he can run the ball.
This is what we do. This is what we do in the NFL. We pay for hype and we pay for you had a good year.
At 17% guarantee. I think I'm okay with that.
That's a lot of money though. A lot of money. How many years is that again?
3 years.
3 years.
Okay, but what if I put it in this perspective, right? And now I know you're not going to like this because, well, it's preseason. But, how much would you pay Dak Prescott? He's only
$5. Don't even go there. No, it's preseason. Everybody needs to relax.
My point is you don't know what consistency really is. So at least you got it from Tyrod Taylor. You had consistency for the whole season last year. Yes?
Okay. Yeah. So let's say he has. Well, okay, no, let's not even say that. Let's say last year, he had a good year.
They were 2 games out of the playoffs, one game out of the playoffs?
Listen, so one year, cool.
Okay.
Now what if he stinks up the next 3?
I don't disagree with you, but that's why he's only getting 17% guaranteed, and he could be on your bench. Plus, you cut him. I'm sure it's not that much to buy his contract out, especially at 17% guaranteed. All you really have to do is pay off, I think, 3/4 of the guaranteed contract. So, if you really look at it in that perspective, I don't... As a cap guy, as a guy who follows it, it's kind of almost a steal if he ends up being really good, and it seems like a low risk deal. Plus, it kind of throws out there a big number for him.
So in 2 years, so 2 years, let's reverse it. Let's say he has the next 2 years, he just does even better, and he's great, and he wins a playoff game or something. Okay, well, so now he wants more money in his 3rd year.
Well, see, that's
now he wants to hold out.
I'm not disagreeing with
where
you're going there. I'm not disagreeing with what you're going there. But you have a guy like LaShawn McCoy who, you know what I mean. You're going to rely on him anyways, right? You're putting most of your guaranteed money into him at the moment. So why not, try to help him out a little bit. Obviously, him and Tyrod Taylor have some kind of good connection because they did play well together last year. As much as I'm not even the biggest LaShawn McCoy fan, he did his thing up there when he was healthy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's such a Rex. You know what it is?
Anyways, they rely on defense because of Rex Ryan. That's what you're just going to say.
It's such a Rex Ryan move because there's a young quarterback. He had he's decent. We see promising future in him. And skirt. I'm just saying,
look at Romo getting $75 million guaranteed. This guy's only getting
he's an elite quarterback. I don't care what anybody says.
This guy's only getting I agree. This guy's only getting $35 million guaranteed, not even. So you understand my difference?
Only 35 million.
Well, yes. While you're talking big numbers here, I understand what you're saying. We're also talking pro athletes that get paid off the charts. It's a different conversation for a different day. I brought up Dak Prescott. I just want to know your feelings right off the bat. Is he the second coming in Roger Staubach like they all talk about, or
who's saying that? I really need everybody to just relax. It's ridiculous. You know why he's getting all this talk? And this is why they're America's team and why you hate it and everybody hates it. Because who else, if he was on any other team, would we be having this amount of hype and hysteria?
No,
and they're saying, and I'm saying ESPN, because yet again, they are at the forefront of this.
Yes.
And I heard a lot of analysts saying over the past couple of days since this game has happened, he was 10 of 12. Great, he had a good game, good showing. Won his preseason, his first game.
Vanilla defense.
2.
Second quarter defense is second, third string.
Come on, man. And, you know, I heard all these analysts, they were saying, well, all we've been hearing about from Cowboys fans is, oh, look at that. I'm sorry, excuse me. I haven't heard anybody say that. Yeah, maybe there was a little excitement from somebody that wasn't named Dwight because we haven't had a backup quarterback. And if by chance, we don't even know this guy's going to make the team.
Do you think they go out and sign a guy, or do you think that they continue? Because now he
No
proved
clue.
himself at least to get to the next game as the backup quarterback.
Great, yes, that's fantastic.
Okay.
Good for him. He'll probably.
You and I realistically can see that, though. We're not going to jump over, especially on a week 1 preseason game.
Dude, I watched the first quarter of that game, and I was like, okay, you know, it's all fine and dandy. I turned it off. We were up, and then we lost.
Look good.
Whatever. The best wide receiver has returned.
He looked good.
I'm just saying.
Against
was it a catch? Was it a catch?
It's never a catch when Des Bryant.
Can't deal with you people.
It's
Anyway,
never a catch
it
with
was Dak. That sounds like a Hall of Fame name. It was Dak that threw that ball up there for him to grab it.
Yeah, I agree. Listen.
Everybody needs to relax.
Okay,
let's just relax.
While I agree with, I understand the falling back, not getting too excited. At the same time, he did look good. I want to give him his props for being a guy who just stepped right in that process. Good for him. I think that, honestly, if it turns out that he ends up being their backup this year, that's a good thing. He showed his progress. He put the hype out there. Whatever. I'm with you, though. It's going to kind of lead to overhype considering, he was playing with the first-string offensive line for, almost a full quarter. They put their second string in defense already, I think a drive in. All of it just kind of came together for him, and he looked good. He did what he did with the opportunity.
Speaking of, I just have to say this because while we're on the Cowboys and backup quarterbacks, of course, the first thing people wanted to say after the game to Jerry Jones, so are you still considering, looking at Johnny Manziel? And Jerry Jones said Dak Prescott, or whatever his name is. Yeah. He said his name. Not, can we get off this whole... I don't want to get into a Johnny Manziel conversation for a millionth time, but I'm saying, can we just, Dallas isn't going for it. Jerry Jones, if he wanted it, he would have got it a long time ago.
Should he not just, don't just say the backup's name and then walk away?
He should just say that because he's tired of talking about it. He's been said he's not going for it.
He dragged himself into that, and I understand.
When he said he wanted to draft him some years back, and then he didn't do it because he was advised not to. Unfortunately. He became available, and then he didn't bite on him.
Unfortunately for you, what did you say to me? It's the Cowboys, so everyone has a strong opinion, and a strong Manziel, and everybody else has a strong opinion. So you're really mixing two things that are going to get brought up for. You can't say Ray Rice. You can't say Ray Rice without an elevator incident right now. It's going to be the same exact thing.
Dude, speaking of, I'm looking pretty good on that whole don't draft Johnny Manziel thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't disagree with you.
Everybody said Dallas should have took it. I said no, I don't want that drama. And what happened? Poor guy. He's not even in the league right now. I'm just saying.
I was mad that they didn't draft him because I like Johnny Manziel.
You just wanted that drama on Dallas.
Right,
That's all you wanted.
And then it turned out that it ends up being the other way around. And I was like, man, that kind of sucks that they didn't draft him even more now. Anyway, so
enough of that.
As an Eagles fan, I just want to point out, considering you got to talk about your backup, Carson Wentz should have never been in that game as long as he was. That offensive line was depleted. They were down to guys rotating other positions. When you have a guard playing tackle, a tackle playing center, the whole thing was out of whack because you have a guy who you don't know if he's going to play the first 10 games due to testing for steroids. You have another guy who got hurt. You have an old guy who you didn't start. So half of your starting offensive line didn't even start. And now you're down to your third, fourth, and fifth string. And then you have an injury. You're cycling guys who shouldn't have been in there. But hold on. If Carson Wentz is your future, you're in there getting he broke a bone. Look. The one thing I want to say about the Rams is they did the right thing when they saw their quarterback after 2 drives getting pummeled. They were like, yeah, no, we're not going to leave our first overall pick in there. You put too much investment, whether he's going to play or not this year, you put too much investment to let him stand there and get his head kicked in. And he did. I went back and watched the game. I didn't. The Eagles have handled so many things wrong organizationally over the last, 12 to 18 months.
Excuse me?
But my thing here is that's
You're just having an epiphany?
No. I told you I think that was the organization's fault, the whole Chip Kelly thing. I don't think Chip Kelly failed. I think the Eagles failed on Chip Kelly, and that's what completely turned the players around. That's a whole different conversation for a whole different day, which I'm in to get into if you want to.
We've had this a million times. I'm good on that.
My thing is, you got to take Carson Wentz out a lot earlier, or you at least.
I get it. But okay, from St. Louis's perspective, I get it because we all know he's starting regardless. I think he's going to be the starting quarterback for the entire season.
Well,
as far as
they have Kellen Moore, don't they?
Please. As far as the Eagles,
no. The guy from Houston. I'm trying to think of his name. The guy who played for Houston in college, who broke the records. Keenum. I want to say Case.
Yeah,
Keenum.
Case Keenum. Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, but again, no. As far as Philadelphia is concerned, I don't think it's the same situation, but at the same time,
you have two quarterbacks in front of him.
Are we really going with that though? At the same time, it's his preseason. He needs to get out there. He needs to get some work in there. They need to see what he can do.
Okay, so after he's getting his head kicked in for 3 drives, instead of keeping him out there for the 4th, 5th, and 6th drive, you say, you know what, next week and the week after and the week after that, we're going to give him as much snaps as possible. We got to fix our offensive line situation before. Now he's not going to play the rest of the preseason. That's your alternative, is just watching him get his head kicked in over and over and over and over and over and over. I mean, who knows?
Did he get any people on their offensive line? Because we were saying last year that was one of their biggest problems. Did they get anybody?
Yes, they made their offensive line pretty solid during the offseason, but then they have a guy.
These weren't your starters.
They have a guy. Yes, on top of that, they have a guy that's going to get suspended for 10 games. Jason Peters is old, so it's only a matter of time until he gets hurt. Like he's still a wild card. Like with Lane Johnson going down, that's going to be the biggest thing because he was going to be the best player. He was already out for the first 4 games. It might be the first 10 games. That's an issue now because now you're rotating a bunch of guys who didn't have anything behind them, and they did not look good at all in that preseason game. And the Bucs defensive line, outside of Gerald McCoy, not that good. I mean, they were second to worst in sacks last year. They destroyed the Eagles' second and third strings. I don't know what that says then. Right. So you follow what I'm saying?
There's no depth there, so.
As much as you don't want to get.
So what are you supposed to do then?
Put your 4th string in, the guy who you were going to cut anyways, and just let him get his head kicked in. That's what he's there for. That's the whole reason you carry Cameron Artis-Payne.
Okay, so when's the Rook supposed to get his time in?
Next week when you get a better offensive line in there, when you start signing some dudes off the street. I don't know. Get me. I'll at least try a little better. Holy crap, like that looks so bad.
Dallas, they had their starters in the first.
Yes, they played the whole first quarter for Dak Prescott. And you know what? That was a great idea because Dak Prescott got to stand back there all day. He could have read a book. He could have made a sandwich and ate it.
Relax and get some throws in there.
Right, and that's what the Eagles. I understand you're not going to do that for the 3rd string guy because that means you're leaving him into the middle of the 3rd quarter. But still, do something better for him. Why don't you put McDaniels in the 3rd quarter? Why don't you put Wentz in the 2nd quarter? Like I don't know, just.
I don't disagree. I mean, I see why.
Sam Bradford took 4 snaps. Why did he even dress? He took 4 snaps. He threw two balls, handed the other 2 off. I was like, it just so mismanagement. I know it's preseason. I just don't understand. Like, and I say it all the time. Are they not the best preseason team of all time, the Eagles? I mean, like, can you just officially give them that award? Holy, they look so good every preseason, and then you know what I mean.
They're the Super Bowl
right.
Team.
They're the best preseason team of all time, I think.
I'm not going that far, but sure, we'll go over this millennium. Sure,
anyways,
maybe. Is that all for the?
You wanted to say something about Bell. You brought up Le'Veon Bell, so I want to hear what you have to say about him.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell out of Michigan State.
You mean the homeboy that apparently doesn't like to go and take his drug test?
Oh.
He just doesn't show up.
Heard that? Yes, I did hear about that.
Like. Really? That's the thing?
You know what the best part about it is? You know what the best part about it is? It's scheduled 2 weeks in advance. They call you and they ask you when can we show up to your house? On what date between here and here can we show up to your house?
Doesn't show up.
Well, he wasn't at the house.
And it's happened on more than one occasion.
They knocked on the door 3 times.
Oh, you got
3 different occasions you had people flying in from other cities to come take his urine sample and he wasn't at the house after he scheduled it with these people.
That's just ignorant. That's just ignorance. Like how stupid do you have to
He only
so
got 4 games for it though.
Only?
I mean, if he fails a piss test, he gets 6.
But that's all.
Well,
I guess he knew. But he had 2 weeks.
He decided to keep blowing dro.
Oh man, but it looks worse when you hide. Just go. Do it.
I don't think he's trying to hide. I think that's
walk in and say, look, I'm not going to pass.
I think that's his statement. I think that's a statement to the NFL. Yeah, but then they give you 6 automatically. I think that's a statement to the NFL.
This is the first time. Like, he's been ducking them. Plus, didn't he fail some as well in the past?
No, he got caught with weed. Him and LeGarrette Blount. Remember, they got pulled over on the way.
Yeah, the irony of that. Yeah, right.
To the team flight. They were on their way to the team flight. They got pulled over and arrested. Look.
Come on, you just got to be... how stupid you got to be. You are a starting running back, one of the best running backs in the league. You played for Pittsburgh Steelers. You had a great offense last year. I thought that they were going to go a little far as we got into the playoffs.
This is not the kind of show that you and I hold, but I'm going to try to just peel it back from you. The war between the NFL players and the NFL right now about letting them smoke weed is at its height. I mean, that's why the Josh Gordon situation keeps happening. The Johnny Manziel thing is him fighting back. That was Bell's. Look, and they look at it as a medical thing, right? Look,
that's fine.
I don't care whoever falls on what side of it. Like, the facts is that the players are fighting the NFL right now on it.
That's
and
fine.
I think that was his way of saying, I'm not hiding it. I am doing this. I'm doing this on a consistent basis. I'm going to keep ducking you, and I'm going to prove my point. While it looks dumb to you and I, because he just screwed himself out of millions of dollars, I agree.
Would you agree if he was on the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes, I would think it was ridiculous of him to do. It is so dumb of him to do this.
Well, no, I'm saying, would you be cool with him doing this?
I'm not cool with him doing it in the first place.
Okay.
I'm saying that I understand the war that he is trying to fight, and that's why I'm trying to explain. While, yes, it doesn't seem rational to you, it doesn't even seem rational to me.
Right now, it's a war he's not going to win.
But it's a war the players as a whole. He's trying to be a foot soldier for the future. While I agree with what you're saying,
Make a statement on that sideline, bro, for 4 weeks.
Totally 110% on your side. Not what they're going for. And the players are trying. Look,
What do you think Mike Tomlin thinks?
I'm probably not happy with it. The NFL, yes or no, and this is just an observation of the Steelers organization. Are they not a little more lenient with the whole weed thing? They've had plenty of players that they kind of just here and there, whatever, shove it under the rug. My thing is, let me put it to you this way: if they, as an entire unit, like the NBA is a player-run league, right? It's all admitted it's a player-run league. Well, the NFL is slowly trying to transition into that. They're about to go into a CBA, so they got two wars to fight. They got the 50% deal, the 50-50 income, okay?
Right.
50% to them, 50% to the league and the owners. And then the other war that they're trying to fight is the NBA doesn't really have any testing for marijuana.
No.
If you don't get caught with it by the law, then they will never even suspect you of it, is basically what they go for.
Isn't that how most jobs operate?
The NFL does not operate that way. The NFL players would like it to operate that way. The NFL players feel like they have a medical case for it because of not only the brain trauma that happens to them, this, that, and the next thing.
It's legitimate.
It heals you better.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah. There's states that they play in that is legalized, so on top of that...
That's the funny part with me.
Right, and those players also agree that that's a problem.
So like that.
So what I'm trying to say is like, yes, you and I agree. Bell, the situation, like, dude, get clean, pass your piss test. Do you plan it out? Like, they don't even test you other days. Like, you know what I mean? If you really feel like you have to do it, go ahead and do it. Do it on your own time. Do it when you literally know when you're gonna have to take these tests. So
you have all summer to do it.
Just pass the test. Like, you know when they're coming. Just go pass the test. Like, it's they're just cheating. They're literally giving you the answer weeks in advance.
Just they got kicked out the playoffs. Right. They got kicked out the playoffs in January. So what? You had a good 6-7 months to do that. 6-7 months and you couldn't do it. You could have stayed clean for 2 weeks when you had like 6 months to do it.
But not even just for 2 weeks. Because in his mind it's a month and a half because he's got to get clean before the 2 weeks. Whatever. I agree.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, it's just foolish and reckless and immature.
But like I said, he thinks he's fighting a war that you and I just we agree that it's not the best. It's not in his best interest to do, no matter what he's doing it for.
I'm sure his fans and the fans of Steelers don't appreciate, regardless if they enjoy that activity or not.
You're absolutely right. Because you know what? On Sundays, they're not worried about if the players can smoke weed or not. They're worried about wins. They're worried about losses.
Right. They do have D'Angelo Williams, which he had a great year last year for him. He was very good, but come on now. You want Le'Veon Bell, one of the best running backs back there for 4 weeks.
Before I move on, away from football.
God, it's never ending.
Because this is technically a football show. That's what it started as. Do you have anything else to say? Football-wise?
Football-wise? No. Is it September?
Speaking of the NFL, we're going to have our shameless plug here. We're going to have an NFL preview, a JD Sports NFL preview. We're going to preview all the teams, all the divisions. We're going to preview probably playoffs, Super Bowl, probably early predictions on Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, MVPs, things like that, offense, defense.
Again, we're doing that again?
Yes, we're going through the whole way. This year, we're actually going to get it out there instead of last year. We scrapped the tape.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Out. So, the first official JD Sports never made it up there. But this year, the Season 2 preview, the technically first anniversary Season 2 preview of the NFL, right? It's going to be a little different.
That's crazy.
I'm excited. So
that's coming. That'll be in 2 weeks, next week.
Yeah.
I'll be on vacation, so.
Yeah, But we decided to come back. I'm glad that you actually, funny story, I was thinking for a while, like, man, when are we going to start the show back up? I was kind of going through my head, like, things about we're going to start talking about. I was doing my own little NFL preview for a good while. And then you actually just randomly hit me up out of the blue, said you wanted to get one going. I think I'd like it because it'll get us in the groove here.
Plus, heck yeah.
There's so much going on in sports on top of the NFL, as much of an NFL show as we are. We also cover a lot of NBA. Last time, before we, right after we took the break, Dwayne Wade signed with his hometown Chicago.
After. Yeah.
I mean, neither of us expected that. I kind of expected the Heat to break down and give it to him. I'm shocked even right now that they didn't break down and give it to him. But D-Wade was also sending a message to them that he didn't feel appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bad call, and once again, it's just Pat Riley being Pat Riley.
Both sides bad call?
I think it's a bad call. I don't think it's a bad call for Wade necessarily. I think it's a bad call for the Miami Heat, and honestly, for the Bulls, it's kind of like yeah, I'd appreciate it more 2 years ago. I'd appreciate it more last year when they had Pau Gasol. Yeah. Then it's like, okay, maybe they might make a little something.
Melo 2 years ago, then you get Wade 2 years ago, then you have Rose at that point, Noah, Pau Gasol.
Right, you lose all those pieces, key pieces. 2 or 3 years ago, you lost your coach that got you to
Thibodeau, the man.
Yes. You lost your presence. You lost your defensive mindset. Yes. You lost everything, and now D Rose is just like, oh, here I am. It's my hometown. Obviously, he's not looking to compete. He's obviously just going there just because he said, you're not going to pay me, forget you. And Pat Riley honestly disrespected the man. This is a prime example. I wanted to bring this up, actually. Everybody got on Kobe, and even Steve Nash. And I said, you know what? Get your money. I'm not mad at you. And everybody's like, well, what about Tim Duncan? He takes pay cuts, Tom Brady, payment, whatever. People say these athletes take pay cuts, they should, because then they could get better teammates around them. But these owners don't care about you. They don't care about your loyalty. As much as I love Pat Riley, he did not show that to Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade felt disrespected, so he said, forget you, I'm out, I'm going home, I'm getting paid. He took the pay cuts, he didn't get his money he felt he was due. Now look, now Miami has nobody, and Dwayne Wade's getting paid.
So one of the most complex sides of how I view sports is I follow a lot with contracts, right? And I am a very big fan of, and I admire a lot of what Tim Duncan, Tom Brady does. And
it's not realistic to me, but
I love the fact that they do it to win championships, right? But you and I both know I'm a player guy. So when I see a guy like Kobe or I see a guy like D-Wade or I see this or I see that person getting their money, I'm on the side of go get your money as a player.
I would never be against that.
Me neither. Now, when I'm looking at it as my own teams, I'm always like, man, like the Fletcher Crocs deal, right? I was like, get your money. Like, good for you, big guy. You deserve it. And then on the other side of it, I'm like, man, as an Eagles fan, I wish we kind of had a little more room to do this or a little more room to do this. But I understand it, right? Both ways. So,
right.
D-Wade didn't take that much, more money. I think after taxes, it almost comes out to be the same. I think on top of it, everything that I've been hearing is that if the Chicago Bulls are not in it come February, the Cleveland Cavaliers, because of cap, can't, as a free agent, sign him, but they can trade for his contract by moving 2 pieces, a la maybe like a Mon Shumpert, a guy who would be a free agent at the end of the year anyways.
Kevin Love.
Moving a couple contracts, and then you end up getting Dwayne Wade with LeBron.
Again.
If Chicago's not in it. And I'm going to be honest with you.
They're not going to be in it.
I don't think so. It's kind of...
They got Jimmy Butler.
I like Jimmy Butler a lot. I'm a big fan of Butler.
I don't see that dynamic
I like a couple players they got, and you know what? The thing with D-Wade is, he took off so many games over the last couple of years, and yes, he looks so vintage and good in the playoffs.
He looks great.
How much is he going to give you through the first 80 games of the season?
He's not worried about that.
So, I look at it from Chicago's perspective. You trade him middle of the season, you end up getting a guy like Mon Shumpert who will re-sign with you because then you got Butler and Mon Shumpert, for the next 2 or 3 years after that. I'm not saying that's a great duo. I'm saying that's a start, though, compared to what you got.
Yeah, it's definitely much better long term.
So you look at something like that, you know what I mean? Where contracts are moving, the Cavaliers get Wade, which LeBron and Wade love each other. They're really good. They work great on the court together, and they're best friends in general. So It just kind of all works out. Plus, he can go out right off in the sunset, win a championship or 2 with LeBron if that's whatever.
I'm kind of torn because part of me is like, I think the Bulls, they could definitely sneak in the Eastern Conference, but they couldn't do it last year.
They can get a 6, 7, 8 seed. I really think
they do it last year.
Yes, that's
so,
you're right.
I don't know. I think Jimmy Butler could carry them to a lower seed.
Can the Knicks?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
As good as Derrick Rose.
I think they improved. They definitely improved. I'm not even looking at the Derrick Rose situation. I think they had several good pieces for them.
Don't say no.
Why do you disrespect Joakim Noah?
He was actually negative on the court. He was actually outside of Mozgov.
Okay, that's cool, Mr. Athletics.
Outside of Mozgov, the LA Lakers big signing, Noah was the worst player on the court in the entire NBA.
Okay, Mr. Analytics. So what I see is that a guy that can get 8, 9, 10 rebounds, get some 3 or 4 blocks in a game.
Yeah, but if your team is up by 4 when he comes in the game and then down by 9 when he comes out of the game,
well, put the ball in the hoop, Melo.
That's what they're planning on, I guess. We'll see. Derrick Rose had a really good last 28 games of the season last year. I do want to give him that kind of credit. I know he's got to stay healthy for a season.
I don't.
Going into a contract year, he's going to
weird.
ball out. Going into a contract year, he's going to ball out. You and I both know Derrick Rose got that extra mode in him. He's going to ball out.
All right, so
he was on stage with Drake. So was LeBron James last weekend. Anyways, keep going.
you gotta talk about Drake now.
I'm going to see Drake on Friday.
That's great. At least it's not an NBA game.
I'm guessing John Wall will come out because I'm going to see him in DC.
That kind of be legit, I
The
guess.
trend, right? That'd be the trend.
So, who do you think? What do you think is a better?
Bradley Beal. Keep going.
Why?
Because I like Bradley Beal better than John Wall. As much as I like John Wall.
Okay.
As long as we don't get Martin Gortat, I'm good.
Is Nene still around?
Probably not.
I don't think he is.
No, he's probably playing for the Olympics.
Paul Pierce ain't there either.
Who?
The truth.
The fake.
Oh.
The false.
Anyway.
The lie.
So, what duo do you think is going to be better? Because honestly, I think they're both kind of. It's weird. I can't see either one of them working. Honestly, D Wade and Jimmy Butler. I might give the edge to them just figuring it out. I can't see Melo and D Rose doing it.
I'll take the other
It's
two
weird.
that I named
It's weird.
as my third answer. I'll take John Wall and Bradley Beal over both of them. To be honest with you, like no, like it
Both of
doesn't.
those duos.
Yeah, it's right. And so
it just
that
doesn't sound right.
like the Washington Wizards are better than both teams. End of conversation. Like we don't have to go any further with either of those organizations now. They're gonna get more credit though, and more love. I do think that Dwayne Wade, if they're even if they are a 6th, 7th, 8th seed, I do think that they can trade Dwayne Wade to the Cavaliers. I would like to see that honestly, as a LeBron James fan, as a guy who wants to see LeBron keep winning a couple more before the Sixers start stepping in and getting their reign.
It's just a circle of life with LeBron in it.
For now, he's sipping his tea heavy right now. You see that all the frog and sipping tea stuff lately. Hey, I mean I like cocky and confident. I'm just more of like a go out and do it again, big guy. All right, so. Is that all you have to say about the NBA? I mean,
I don't think there's anything else that really went on. We covered a lot of the big free agent moves before we had a break. So,
I say watch out for the Pacers next year in the East. That's probably my sleeper team.
Dude, I talk about how it's August and we're talking about football. Can we not? It's in October.
Let's go to something that's actually in season. Something you follow a lot more than I do.
What's that?
More combat sports. Can we start off with the UFC?
Greatness.
202 is coming up.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know anything outside of the main event.
That's the only one, honestly, worth paying attention to.
Awesome.
As far as I was concerned. I mean, I think there's another title match, but
hold on. There's an Irish guy, right,
Yeah.
in the main event. Is he going to show up for this fight?
Is CM Punk Irish now?
That's so funny.
Yo, you know what's funny? Because we always do the too sweet, because, Scott Hall and all of them. Did you see the retweet I had on mine?
No.
Scott Hall tweeted out like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. He was like, so, is CM Punk ever going to fight in UFC? So Scott Hall said on his Twitter.
No.
I lost it.
He's not going to ever fight.
Hey, he's got what, another, I think it's next month actually. I think it's September.
Is McGregor ever going to fight in UFC again?
Who's that? You said Irish, I thought it was Sheamus.
Oh.
McGregor, is that not the pro wrestler? McGregor? Conor McGregor, the pro wrestler?
He, Ric Flair.
Oh, according to Ric Flair, that's him.
Yeah, he said he took his persona.
He's so dead. You look, okay.
I agree. Yeah,
So-
you want to put that conversation to rest? 'Cause
I think
I'm totally into going on him.
I do, but I don't. Like, I like McGregor. Here's the thing. There's a couple things. One, you are such a product of pro wrestling, and so is UFC in general, but
Yes.
he is the epitome of that.
Absolutely.
He is such a character.
He used a persona to get...
He very much is a persona. That's not exactly who he is. If you see him, like, how humble, well, there's that word I hate in sports, but how he is after the last time we saw him in the octagon, which he went night-night.
Right.
I'm just saying, he wasn't like that. He was very much humble, as, I hate to say. So, it comes off as disingenuous, and a lot of... If you look at the footprint since, it seems like it's leading towards something down the line with WWE in some fashion, which makes you just wonder, again, dude,
Is he involved?
Why are you so phony? That comes across, if that's the case, if that is really what is happening, and it seems kind of that way, you are such a fraud. You are such a hype machine. Dude, the last time we saw you, you went night-night. The last time we heard about you, you cried your way out of UFC 200.
You quit a fight.
I'm just saying. Oh, I'm sorry. Somewhere in between there, you hyped up a fight that was never going to happen with Floyd and Mayweather.
And now you're in this one.
And now you're 2 pay-per-views later. You lost out on all that money. Dude,
biggest pay-per-view in UFC history.
Right. Dude, just shut up. This is a big fight. Him and Nate Diaz for the second time. The first one, they just beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
Dude. Beat the hell. Both men bloody. Nate Diaz, to his credit, he wasn't backing down. They were both talking shit throughout the whole thing. McGregor messed up, tried to go for a takedown, got choked out. I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen again.
Who do you got?
Jesus. That's a great question. I'm going to say McGregor just because I feel like he needs to win this.
I'm putting my money with you then.
After everything that's transpired, after all the hype, all the BS that's been going on this year with him, he needs to get this victory.
Yeah.
He needs to get it back. And, that just sets up what I love, the third fight. That's cool.
Now,
I'm good with that.
Last time we were talking UFC, we were kind of talking about how our feelings for Dana White, what he did with that reporter, this, that, and the next thing.
Who got his job back because he gave him the pressure.
He ends up selling the UFC within a couple of days after our last conversation about it.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I mean, we knew it was coming. I mean...
Yeah, we were talking about it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, the reports were all out there. It's kind of weird. Apparently, Dana, he's still going to be around. He just doesn't have the majority now. So
he's still going to be the face, though, yes?
I think that seems like what they're leaning towards. So I don't really know what's changing. Maybe it's something that we'll have to wait and see, a couple months or even a year or more to see what changes happen, if anything. UFC's only been growing as much as people like to say, it's falling off. I mean,
people are watching it.
Perhaps, but they're still making an insane amount of money.
Yep.
I don't know what this means, but, I personally, as much as I kind of want to like Dana White, he's kind of like McGregor.
Right.
He does a lot of talking, and then he gets himself caught up.
If he goes away, he goes away. Maybe they get someone better in there anyways, a promotion guy.
Somebody just shut up every now and then.
So, speaking of the WWE, when we were talking about McGregor, SummerSlam's this weekend, yes?
Yes.
What are the big fights in that?
Big fights. We got a new title. We have the Universal title.
Is that for the WWE Universe?
Dude, I don't know. I guess.
Okay.
Is this supposed to be more meaningful?
Is that what they call their fans?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Universe.
It's you guys.
Who's you?
14-year-olds that watch it. I don't know.
Is this here's what I don't get. Is this supposed to be more meaningful than the WWE title that's on the other show now?
See, I don't know. The World Heavyweight Championship? What was ever bigger than the World Heavyweight Championship?
It's so weird. Anyway, so the Universal title is...
Russo thinks the USA title is actually the most important, but we'll get into that.
His wife is the most important thing about him.
Fighting for her pride.
Apparently. So the Universal title, they got Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with this whole new generation, the new era, whatever the hell adjective they want to throw on it. I'm going with Finn just because I think that's more of the shock value. Because in contrast, they got the World Heavyweight title or WWE title, whatever, with Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose. And I don't see Dolph getting it. Dolph has been, dude, for like the past 3 or 4 months, Dolph was on the pre-show of a pay-per-view losing, and now all of a sudden he's main event in SummerSlam.
All right,
I can't see him being a champion.
So here's my way too early predictions, right?
Doesn't make no sense.
I got Finn versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and I got Cena versus Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania for those 2 titles.
My only thing is I can't see Dean having a title that long.
Well, Cena's going to be fighting for it at WrestleMania.
I'm kind of hoping with Dean.
So.
The other thing I'm hoping with Dean is, like, I'm hoping he wins so that because I can see him fighting like Bray Wyatt next for the title. I'd even like to see CM Punk. I bet CM Punk would like to do that.
CM Punk.
No, I'd actually like to see AJ Styles thrown in there with him too. I think they could have decent matches. So
Cena's still going to fight somebody for that title at WrestleMania.
God, Cena just needs to go to sleep somewhere.
So, speaking of SummerSlam, somebody who fights in both of those, is he fighting at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, he's fighting Randy Orton.
Now, how does that happen? Shouldn't he be suspended like Roman Reigns was suspended? Because didn't he break the wellness policy according to the UFC?
Oh, you didn't hear?
Oh, you didn't know?
You didn't hear? He didn't break WWE's policy. He broke UFC's policy.
Oh, so WWE's cool with it?
It's not their problem.
Okay.
That's
so he's
basically,
fighting at SummerSlam.
Dude, that is the blank, stupid statement. Well, it's not stupid, but that's the generic statement they put out there was that it wasn't under us. It's basically not our problem. So they do. Come on. Okay, come on now. I hate the whole stigma of all pro wrestlers do steroids, blah, 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 blah. But we all know a lot of them do, even still. So, look at Brock Lesnar.
The Rock, and don't say he does because he will get angry.
Well, dude, look at Brock Lesnar.
I know.
You mean tell me never in his life? He's actually he used to be a lot more insanely bulk.
I agree. Back when he was playing football.
Even before that.
I'm just saying.
It was disgusting. So, I mean, they're not wrong. It just doesn't look good.
Right.
It just looks stupid.
But he's gonna be dominant at WrestleMania at SummerSlam and then disappear for a while.
I don't know.
Into a steroid jungle.
Maybe because of the steroids, they're gonna make him lose.
No, you can't have him lose.
He hasn't lost in. God.
He's not going to.
It's been a while.
Speaking of steroids, not to kind of just jump from format to format here. Wait, did you make your prediction on the main events?
Yeah, I said Finn Balor and Dean Ambrose.
Okay, so
maybe Brock. I don't know.
We were talking about steroids. Alex Rodriguez, kind of forced to retire from the Yankees, moving into baseball quickly.
I'm glad you said from the Yankees.
I don't know if he's. Look, the Marlins are looking at talking to him. I don't know if he ever plays baseball again. I really don't. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be an AL team with a DH situation next year that he's going to be able to platoon as, like literally getting 200, 250 at-bats. Or the same thing, he's going to have to learn how to play a different position, though, and to play on an NL team.
I mean, his manager already came out and said that he's not looking at any options. And he said
because
he
wants to stay in the clubhouse with the Yankees, apparently. The Yankees want him to be in the clubhouse, and they want him to be a coach in the spring training next year, which is weird to me.
I mean, if he's smart, that's what he needs to focus on. Even if he's like, man, I only need a couple more home runs and I get whatever club that is.
700, yeah.
Great, that's great. But I mean, do you want to do that for a year or two and then not have a job, or do you want to just say I'm done and have a job?
Yeah, he's kind of leaning on the other side of it. But see, my thing though with the Yankees is that Mark Teixeira announced that he was going to retire as well at the end of the season, and they ended up letting him. They're going to let him finish out the season. I know they weren't using A-Rod like a whole lot, and they felt like they can call some people up, I guess. But at the same time, like if he is that good for your clubhouse, the opportunities he was getting over the last month, right before all of this, ended up like he was actually playing half decently. Not good, not good by any stretch of the imagination, but half decently. And I don't like the way they handled the whole last week. They announced it on Sunday that he was going to be gone on Friday. They said they were going to let him play all 5 games. He only ends up playing 3. They said he could start all 5. He asked if he could play third base. If he could start at third base and not be the DH. He wanted to play in the field for his last game on Friday, and the manager said no. And then Joe Girardi cried in the post-game press conference, which I thought he was really snarky the entire last week about all the A-Rod questions. I thought he was kind of like they gave Derek Jeter an entire year of thank you retirement ceremony,
well,
and then he was like,
completely different.
But I agree. And then he was like, but we're not here to give retirement tours. And it was like, well, you gave Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter a retirement tour less than 5 years ago. You don't have that short of a memory. You can't say that.
Different.
I agree. I 1,010% agree. I'm not saying that anyone's wrong on thinking that it's different, but. I don't know. He was just really snarky about the whole situation. And then for him to cry afterwards, it was just all, I don't know. And I'm not even really against Joe Girardi, I guess. A lot of people like him or dislike him. I don't really have an opinion on the guy. But, I thought that was a little over the top. And I didn't like how he handled the whole A-Rod thing at the end because A-Rod has been very classy. As bad as he's been this year, he's been very classy this year. And he helped them a lot last year. Apparently he helps them in the clubhouse.
It's amazing how humble you get when you suck.
How mad you were at me in the beginning of the year before we moved off to baseball for saying that I thought the Cubs were going to win the World Series. Best team in baseball right now, middle of August.
Yeah, I'm kind of dumbfounded by that. I don't even have anything to say.
See, maybe I do know what I'm talking about sometimes. Sometimes. Okay, so last thing. No, it's only August. Wait till they lose in the playoffs. The playoff races, by the way, if you watch baseball, I know you don't. If you watch baseball, the playoff races are getting so intense over the next 2 or 3 weeks. You really want to start locking in. I don't think the Cardinals make it. That's my prediction. We'll see. Last thing to talk about is the Olympics.
Something that's going on.
The GOAT, Michael Phelps, and Usain Bolt. The fastest man in water, the fastest man on land. They're probably the 2 best Olympians, at least definitely in our lifetime, maybe of all time. Just the dominant styles that they wanted. The women's swimmer as well, I forget her name, slipping my mind right now. She was very dominant this Olympics as well. We're seeing some greatness at a different level at the peak of these sports. Very impressive.
As far as Michael Phelps is concerned, I mean, God.
23 gold.
Ironic. And his name's what?
Michael.
You know what's funny about that? I tweeted that immediately, and then like 4 or 5 hours later, ESPN finally.
Everybody's in on that. Everybody's in on that. Michael.
Y'all a little slow
Michael
on that
at
one.
23.
Oh, I saw that immediately. Anyway, I'm just saying, so did everybody. But I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was.
But that's so fitting.
Yeah,
that's
yes,
so fitting.
yes, the GOAT.
It kind of sucks, dude, because outside of Team USA basketball, I don't really pay attention to the Olympics. I mean, even Team USA basketball I've been slacking on this year. But
yeah, me too a little.
But I followed Michael Phelps just because of how great he has been, and
Me too.
it's fun to, you know, kind of pay attention to that.
Yeah.
I would like to see him go one more time. All signs point that he's not going to.
No, he
which
said
is a shame.
2020 is no way, shape, or form.
I mean, they did interview his coach, and his coach was like,
We'll try to convince him because he said that 8 years ago before. But
yeah. Regardless, I mean, it's obviously one of the best Olympic careers of all time. He's one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Yeah.
And every 4 years, he made sure to remind you just that. Because, you know, when the Olympics are relevant, you're not really talking about them. But every 4 years.
We do care for some reason every 4 years. I'm never... I guess it's a whole, patriotic pride thing.
Of course.
I don't know. I mean... I've never been the biggest Olympics guy. I like the basketball. I think the swimming is impressive because nobody's ever dominated the way that he's done it. So, but nobody in America was even following swimming all that much before Michael Phelps. So, I mean, I don't know. Hockey gets a lot of attention in the winter one. I do like the bobsledding a lot. But those are really I don't go out of my way to watch the Olympics a whole lot, so I never really have a whole lot of. I know what's always going on. I'm always watching the medal count because it's going on in sports, and I watch so many sports shows that somebody's bound to talk about it and bring it up, and I see all the good stories, and I love the Olympics for the good stories, all the personal stories, all the stories of overcoming things and things for countries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I still was watching Cubs Cardinals last night over the Olympics. So I mean,
over Usain Bolt over another GOAT.
Well, I watched Usain Bolt, but that's the thing is I kept flipping back and forth.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, Chris Carter can't say that no more, but he's still using it.
See, I don't like that either. I don't want to call Espen out on that.
I do. Because this is what I've been doing this whole show. What are you, okay.
There's
Side
no
note,
reason.
skirt. That's kind of grimy because we all know that's his thing.
You can't use the come on man if you're going to get rid of Chris Carter, and then you can't have Trent Dilfer doing it because he doesn't do it well at all.
Can we talk about that lineup?
Randy Moss is good at it, and I really like Charles Woodson. Oh, really? Randy Moss and Woodson? No.
The verdict's still out. I kind of like...
Moss and Woodson are so good.
I kind of like Moss.
Woodson's quiet. That's why you don't like him. Let him. He'll break out of a
They're too new. They're too new, and that's the shame of it all. ESPN, they've lost and gotten rid of so many NFL analysts, and now they're stuck with newbies and Chris Berman, who's am I really sitting here with guys that have done this for 5 minutes?
I'm not trying to throw shade on Hasselbeck's brother. This isn't this. I'm trying to say this as politely as possible. It's going to come off so rude, though. Didn't he prove for 5 years that he cannot handle this role, and they still put him in it?
It's a fact.
Oh,
why is he there?
He's not even really that good at radio interviews. That's the thing. At least Dilfer is really good on the radio. He's a great radio interview. He actually explains things really well. I'm interested to see how he works out with Moss and Woodson.
Dilfer has grown on me. I still with him, but
what's up with Hasselbeck? Why is he out there?
Right. When I'm looking at everybody else, I'm like, why is he the second best thing out there?
It has nothing to do with the position he played or that he was a backup. It's just he's just not good at the job. I mean, he's just not good at the job. And I feel bad for Berman. As good as Berman is, this isn't his crew.
This is his last year. I don't see him going after this. It's so weird. He's
the elephant in the room. He's the elephant in the room.
Without
really
Tom
is.
Jackson,
he doesn't
weird.
fit, and it's only because as much as he is that show, he doesn't fit because those guys are just different. They're not. Look, and the old lineup, even with Dicka, was so much better. I'm such a big Keyshawn fan.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't even realize he was missing too. I was
know.
Like, wait, when
I'm
did
such
he
a
leave?
big. I'm such a big Keyshawn fan, and obviously Chris Carter.
Keyshawn.
Ray Lewis was getting better. He was getting better. He wasn't all that good. I'll be honest with you. Ray Lewis was not all that good. Tom Jackson obviously is going to be missed, but
Mike Tirico's gone. Who's this El Generico that they got? Not to be confused with the Mexican wrestler. Who's this generic guy that they got with John Gruden? John Gruden just This guy has no personality, which is all ESPN seems to hire right now, guys with no personality.
That guy actually did college basketball for a while.
That's great.
And then he did baseball for a while.
I don't hate him. I don't hate that.
He moved the whole way up to the.
It's great.
To the
Don't
NFL.
hate on him for that.
He's making a lot of money.
Please go do college basketball. I could see his voice going with college basketball.
He was really good at college basketball. He was
Sounds
actually really
great,
good at baseball too. He was really good at baseball.
He has a baseball voice. That's cool. Football Monday night? Come on, man. Sorry, Chris Card. I gotta steal that. Anyway, real quick, because it's kind of sidetracked. Usain Bolt.
Yeah, back at it.
Another great. He's probably done 3 Olympics in a row. He's gotten that gold medal.
He's good.
He's great.
He's
and
proven he's the best.
That explains.
That.
The only thing I really pay attention with the Olympics is when there is that amount of dominance. When Team USA basketball is dominating. When Usain Bolt's dominating. Michael Phelps. I like to watch the dominance of teams or an individual. Other than that, I don't really pay attention.
I'm not going to go out of my way and watch the wrestling side of it, though. You know what I mean? That's kind of like that's more where I'm at. Like I'm going to probably watch baseball and other things, preseason football even probably over it. So as much as I'm all about it, go Team USA in every event.
Definitely.
Just never. Yeah. The Olympics have never been really my thing, but we follow other sports. The thing is, like Olympics are more of a made for TV thing, and where with the other things are it's a whole different version of competitives.
It's competitive. It's entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they all are.
Well, is that everything you got for this week, Dwight? Are we gonna roll off onto the NFL preview? I'm excited for the NFL preview personally.
I'll be excited in 2.5 weeks when football actually starts.
Do you think Tiger signs with another brand, or do you think Tiger just kind of like hangs up the cleats now that Nike Golf is done?
Who?
Tiger Woods.
Who's that?
That was JD Sports. I'm Jared Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. Thank you for watching.
Peace out.